In this Star Wars Outlaws news update video, I will be sharing with you when the game will be at an event and what it could potentially mean for the game's DLC and more. Plus, we have confirmation of various tweaks coming to the game and the fact that Ubisoft are asking the community if they want new planets. But before we do get into all of that and more, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on Star Wars Outlaws. So, we are currently awaiting the next patch for Star Wars Outlaws, and whilst we don't have an official release date for it, the game's creative director, Julian Garrity, has responded to some fans on Twitter confirming certain things that will be in future patches. So, an issue some players have had and ones that people have shared with Julian is an issue with the camera for the speeder, and Julian does confirm that tweaks are on their way for the speeder camera angle, and that was posted at the end of last week. He also has responded to various bugs and things like that. He does know these things exist, and the team will be working on such things. Now on to the big news, and when we could potentially see a release date or something else for Star Wars Outlaws' first DLC. So I was reading this article about Ubisoft on the Famitsu website, and it does state and confirm that Star Wars Outlaws will be part of Ubisoft's Tokyo Game Show livestream. So on Thursday, September 26th, which is next week, Ubisoft will be hosting a livestream for Tokyo Game Show. It will last 50 minutes and feature games such as Rainbow Six Siege, Star Wars Outlaws, X-Defiant, as well as, of course, Assassin's Creed Shadows. The website translated to English says these games will be welcomed with the latest information, and that will take place over the course of 50 minutes. Now, given Assassin's Creed Shadows is set in Japan, and the Tokyo Game Show is in Japan, I'd imagine that will make up the bulk of this livestream. Just makes sense, given that Outlaws, X-Defiant and Rainbow Six Siege are already out. Now when it comes to events like this, sometimes if a game has just released, publishers will use this as an advertising mechanism for their newly released games. So Outlaws may simply just be the launch trailer played, Star Wars Outlaws out now, there you go. It's a quick promotion in front of the Japanese audience. And in Japan, Star Wars is popular, so makes sense. However, given that this is a 50-minute live stream, and they've only confirmed 4 games to appear, that's on this graphic right here as well, I do think that there will be a more significant portion than just, say, a trailer for Star Wars Outlaws. I'd like to hope so anyway. Now, you are probably thinking, well, what's coming for Star Wars Outlaws, other than just patches? Well, we actually already know that there is a confirmed DLC coming out in fall of this year, and we're in fall now, so during this season, there is going to be a new DLC, the Wildcard DLC. It also comes with these 2 cosmetic bundles, the Hunter's Legacy and Cartel Ronin inspired outfits. I feel like we could get even more footage of this DLC, more than what we had in the Season Pass trailer, and then maybe a release date if they are confident of a certain release date. They may just give us a month, which would still be fine in my opinion. I get the feeling that they probably want to make sure the game is out in a better state with more patches, fixing various performance issues, bugs and stuff like that before Wildcard does come out, unless a big patch comes alongside Wildcard. So as of right now, we don't have any concrete details other than Star Wars Outlaws will be at Ubisoft's Tokyo Game Show livestream, which is interesting because we've not seen this for a Star Wars game, I don't think, ever before, or at least in the last decade. So as I mentioned, this event does take place on Thursday the 26th of September at 3 PM local time. I thought I'd convert the time to my top most watched countries. So this is the time where most of my audience is going to be able to watch it. So we have the UK time, which is 7 AM in the morning. Central European time is 8 AM. East Coast is 2 AM. West Coast is 11 PM on the Wednesday. Central time is 1 AM, and then on the east coast of Australia it's going to be 4 PM. If any news comes out from this live stream, I will make a video, so make sure you do stay subscribed for that. Now on to something very interesting regarding feedback from the community. So some community members will have received an email from Ubisoft asking them to take part in a survey to gain feedback on Star Wars Outlaws so they can help improve the game. I personally did not receive this email, so I could not see all of the questions, but a few members on Reddit did post some screenshots. For example, there is this question saying, You said you'd be interested in new story content. On a scale of 1 to 5, please note the following in potential storylines based on your interest in seeing them expanded further. So there is Nix and Kay, Kay's backstory, canon characters already existing within the Star Wars universe, ND5, as well as the heist crew. So they're trying to gauge what sort of characters people want to see in the game in the future. Now on to a question that many people will be excited about. So it says, you said you'd be interested in new planets. Would you prefer it to be a planet that appeared in previous movies or series? A complete new planet created from scratch? And I am interested in both options. So they at least know some people do want some new planets, and they are taking a look at, do we do something new, or do we go to somewhere we've been before? There was also a question asking about tons of new features. So would you like to see in-game special events, more customization options, more weapon diversity, a PvP mode, new playable maps and planets, the possibility to play other characters, more traversal abilities such as new vehicles, new experts, a co-op mode, additional gameplay for Kay and Nix, new story content, new enemies or a boss fight, new Syndicate and Syndicate-related activities, more tie-ins to the Star Wars movies or TV shows, as well as new activities in the open world. Of course, they are just putting down tons and tons of possibilities. Not saying they would consider all of them, but it depends on what fans are asking for in these surveys and what the outcomes of the surveys are. We also have received an update in regards to how well the game is selling. This just came out a few hours ago, so I thought I would share it with you because I know I've covered how well the game is doing and clearing up some misinformation, which has happened once again. I'm going to be giving you the full story because some people are actually missing off very important facts that is part of the full story, purely to prove that the game is doing very poorly. It's not doing great, but it's not doing as bad as they think. So basically, on a podcast, the gamesindustry.biz podcast, someone that works for an analytics firm that is widely regarded in the industry has an estimate of how many copies the game sold in August. Now, you have to remember the game came out on the last 2 days of August 30th. It did have early access, which a lot of people did purchase the early access editions of the game, but it was only just a few days before that, so you're talking about like 5 or 6 days where the game was on sale. According to this expert, it has sold around 800,000 copies in August, but people are missing off the point that it was August. There will have been plenty of people, we've seen plenty of people, pick up the game this month because they were a bit unsure, all the negativity online. Then people started playing the game, saying it was good. They've now purchased it, checked it out, and are enjoying it. As I mentioned before, the game is also part of Ubisoft Plus. Many people, including my friends and many of my audience members, have said they checked out the game on Ubisoft Plus for a month, and then they are going to purchase the game at a later date once their month has ended at the end of this month. Makes perfect sense. So it will get another bump at the end of this month, I think, as well. And of course, near Christmas, Star Wars stuff always does good at Christmas. It's not doing great. It's certainly doing a lot worse than previous Star Wars games. However, it's nowhere near as bad as what some people are going to be making it out to be. So I thought I'd try and get ahead of some of the big videos that will be coming out over the next day or so, saying that it's only sold 800,000 copies. Yeah, it did that in the first few days. We're now a few weeks after that. It's sold more, evidently. Another fun email that was sent out to fans, which I received this morning actually, is an overview of my career as Kay in Star Wars Outlaws. So as you can see here, it has the hours played, total kills, melee kills, space kills, amount I've bet, and then stuff I've done with Nix, such as times commanded, pickpocketed, cameras blinded, enemies blinded, things like that. And it also has a breakdown of my reputation as well. Now, this isn't entirely accurate anymore because for the past week or so, I've had excellent reputation with all of the syndicates and such, so I'm pretty sure this was just done over a week ago. So it will be slightly out of date, but hey, it's still a cool thing to receive in your email. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I've talked about in this video, so please do let me know down in the comment section below, and remember I will be sharing more news updates on Star Wars Outlaws as and when they do happen. If you'd like to discuss Outlaws, come hang out in my Discord server, use the link down below in the description, and if you'd like to support me, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member to get early access to videos and more. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like to help support the channel, subscribe so you don't miss any future news updates on the game, and if you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.